Ghislaine Maxwell, the associate and ex-girlfriend of disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein, has been arrested by the FBI. This is Ms. Maxwell. She's facing 6 charges, among them recruiting and grooming girls, one as young as 14. For this man you can see in this photo with her, Jeffrey Epstein, a convicted paedophile who died last year while awaiting trial for sex trafficking charges. Ms. Maxwell has previously denied any involvement in or knowledge of her late friend's alleged sexual misconduct. She's being prosecuted by the Southern District of New York, who outlined the charges in a press conference.
Maxwell lied because the truth, as alleged, was almost unspeakable. Maxwell enticed minor girls, got them to trust her, then delivered them into the trap that she and Epstein had set for them. She pretended to be a woman they could trust. All the while, she was setting them up to be sexually abused by Epstein, and in some cases, by Maxwell herself.
Well, Ms. Maxwell was arrested by the FBI in Bradford, New Hampshire on Thursday morning. Here's what the FBI said about the arrest.
We have been discreetly keeping tabs on Maxwell's whereabouts as we work this investigation. And more recently, we learned she had slithered away to a gorgeous property in New Hampshire, continuing to live a life of privilege while her victims live with the trauma inflicted upon them years ago. We moved when we were ready, and Ms. Maxwell was arrested without incident.
Well, the American lawyer Lisa Bloom represents a number of women who say they were abused by Jeffrey Epstein. She spoke to the BBC a short while ago.
Ghislaine has always been at the center of this case. Jeffrey Epstein did not act alone. Jeffrey Epstein, if he had gone out and tried to solicit underage girls, many of them would have been suspicious. Their friends and family would have been suspicious. But because he had a woman, Ghislaine Maxwell, go out, meet girls, entice them, recruit them, they let their guard down. They thought that they were safe with a woman.
Well, Ghislaine Maxwell is a friend of Prince Andrew, and in a BBC interview, the Duke of York said he had met with Miss Maxwell in 2019 before Epstein was arrested on sex trafficking charges. However, he said they did not discuss Epstein, but questions remain about this photo. An American woman, Virginia Giuffre, says this is her with Prince Andrew and Miss Maxwell after she was brought to Britain at the age of 17 to have sex with Prince Andrew. He denies this took place and says he does not recollect ever meeting her. Well, today prosecutors reiterated their desire to speak to him over this issue.
I'm not going to comment on anyone's status in this investigation, but I will say that we would welcome Prince Andrew coming in to talk with us. We would like to have the benefit of his statement.
Well, Prince Andrew's legal team say they are bewildered by the request for a statement, as they have contacted the Department of Justice twice in the past without reply. Let's get more on this case from Catty Kay, who's in Washington for us. Hi, Catty. We understand within the last half hour or so, Ghislaine Maxwell has appeared in court. What do we know has happened?
Yeah, she didn't actually appear in person. It was via video link to a courtroom in New Hampshire, and it wasn't broadcast, so we don't have all of the details, but some reporters were allowed to dial into that appearance. The top line seems to be that she has refused her right to bail. She's waived that right to bail. This, in legal terms, means that she's now set up to move from New Hampshire and go to Manhattan, where she will be arraigned and where any bail hearings will take place. So that's going to happen at a later date. This was her first appearance, or even by video link, as you say, after being arrested earlier today.
And of course, this once again pushing the case and all the allegations surrounding Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, and in turn, whether or not Prince Andrew was a witness in this case, back to the spotlight and the media furore around this.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty grim listening, frankly, Babita, listening to that press conference from the prosecutors today about how they say that she entrapped these girls, that at one point she even took part in the sexual abuse of these girls. It was pretty explicit in terms of what she had done, setting up topless massages with them, that kind of thing. So, and she was described as a villain in this piece. But the other villains, of course, are the other men who may have been involved with Jeffrey Epstein. And listening to that press conference today, you had to wonder, are there a few powerful men around the world who are kind of calling up their lawyers right now and who might be feeling a little bit nervous? Because Ghislaine Maxwell had all of the information. And it's taken a year for prosecutors to decide to arrest her because they said they were building their case systematically. And that now they feel they have a very strong case. Well, what else does she know? Who else does she know about? Who else came in contact with Epstein? Who else was involved in the sexual abuse of young girls? That's all something that she potentially knows and could trade for leniency in her sentencing potentially with the authorities. So a lot of people aren't going to like hearing this if they had anything to do with Jeffrey Epstein, one suspects.